Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on physical chemistry. Today we will discuss kinetics of photochemical reactions. Consider the following photochemical reaction. Please take the notes along with me. Consider the following photochemical reaction. A gives rise to P in the presence of light. So when A is exposed to light, it will be converted to product. If a beam of intensity I naught is incident on the reaction cell of width L and cross-sectional area A, then the number of Einsteins absorbed per second is A into I naught minus IT. Here IT is intensity of transmitted light. So this is general discussion. We take a light source of intensity I naught. Then when we pass a light source of intensity I naught onto compound A, which is made into a solution and placed in a cell of length L. So we consider L as a path length, and the area of the solution is small a. Then the number of Einsteins absorbed per second is A into I naught minus IT. Of course, we know according to Beer-Lambert's law, ln IT by I naught is equal to minus alpha CL, or we can write IT ln, when we make this side it becomes e power, I naught is in denominator, so it becomes numerator, I naught into e power minus alpha CL. IT is equal to I naught into e power minus alpha CL. Therefore, we can substitute the value of IT in this equation. Number of Einsteins absorbed per second is equal to A into I naught minus I naught into e power minus alpha CL. We can make I naught a common term. So A into I naught into 1 minus e power minus alpha CL. You know the expression for 1 minus e power minus x or e power minus x. What is the expression for e power minus x? E power minus x is equal to 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube plus and so on, right? So we can substitute 1 minus x here. 1 and minus 1, they will get cancelled. Minus of minus x, it becomes plus x. So a into I naught into alpha CL, where we can ignore all other additional terms. We can ignore additional terms because alpha is very, very small. Alpha square becomes even more smaller. So we can ignore all additional terms. We have derived an expression for number of Einsteins absorbed per second. Now we will define quantum yield. What is quantum yield? Quantum yield phi is given by number of Einsteins number of moles of A reacted per second divided by number of Einsteins absorbed per second. So the quantum yield is number of moles of A reacted per second by number of Einsteins absorbed per second. Number of or phi is equal to number of moles of A reacted per second divided by number of Einsteins absorbed per second. This is the expression. A into I naught into alpha CL, or phi is equal to, here A is an area and L is a length. So area into length, it is volume. Area into length becomes volume. Now the number of moles by volume. What is that? Number of moles by volume? Nothing but concentration. Concentration is equal to number of moles by volume. So number of moles of A by A into L becomes concentration of A. Number of moles of A divided by volume, it becomes concentration of A. Therefore, phi is equal to minus d by dt of A by I naught alpha C. See, why I am writing d by dt? It is number of moles reacted per second. So with the time, per second. So with the time, we can say minus d by dt of A, number of moles of A, number of moles of A reacted within a particular time. Or we can say minus d by dt of A is equal to, make everything that side, phi into I naught into alpha into C. What is C? C is nothing but concentration of A. So we can write like this. This is the final expression for kinetics of photochemical reactions. This is the photochemical rate law, and with respect to A, it is a first order because A power 1. This is a first order photochemical reaction. Next, we will discuss about hydrogen chlorine reaction. During quantum yield, we have given this reaction as an example for high quantum yield reactions. And we have also discussed that high quantum yield reactions are mostly because of chain reactions. So we will just see how this reaction will have a chain mechanism, and because of its chain mechanism, it will have high quantum yield. Hydrogen gas will react with chlorine gas in presence of light to give HCl gas. This is the reaction. Now when we look at the mechanism, there are different steps. In the first step, chlorine gas will absorb light. Chlorine gas will absorb light and it becomes chlorine radical. Chlorine radical. Here there are two chlorine atoms in the chlorine molecule, so we will get two chlorine radicals. In the second step, this chlorine radical will react with hydrogen molecule to give HCl gas plus a hydrogen radical. So hydrogen will have two hydrogen atoms. One hydrogen atom will combine with Cl to give HCl. Another hydrogen will remain as radical. So the rate constant is K2 for this reaction. In the third step, the generated H radical in the second step now reacts with the chlorine gas and it generates HCl and Cl radical. So this is the mechanism. In the first step, chlorine radical is generated. The generated chlorine radical will react with hydrogen and generates HCl. It again generates another reactive species, hydrogen radical. This reactive species will involve in the next step. H radical will react with the chlorine gas and it generates HCl, plus it again generates another reactive species Cl. So here the reactive species Cl and H, they are generated in each and every step. So when H is generated, it reacts with Cl2 and it generates a product plus another reactive species Cl radical. When Cl radical is there, it reacts with the hydrogen gas, it generates product plus it generates another reactive species hydrogen radical. So this is how in each and every step a reactive species, either hydrogen radical or chlorine radical, will be generated, which involves in the next step. So this is how a chain mechanism will trigger between hydrogen gas and Cl2 gas in presence of light. And finally, this reaction may stop by combining two chlorine radicals. When two chlorine radicals combine together to generate, to give the back Cl2 product, it may terminate. The reaction may stop at this stage. So this is the mechanism for hydrogen chlorine reaction. Now we will try to derive the rate expressions for this mechanism. What is the definition of rate of reaction? Rate of reaction is the change in concentration. Generally, if it is a product, we will have positive sign, rate of increase in the concentration of products. If it is reactants, we will have minus sign, rate of decomposition of reactants. Now, where is this product? From the mechanism, we can easily write the expression for rate of the reaction. So wherever HCl is there, we will write the rate expression from those equations. Yeah, in the second step and third step, HCl is there. So we can write the rate expression. In the second step, it is the product. Rate constant is K2. First we will write K2. Then we will write the product of concentrations of all the reactants. So in the second step, reactants are Cl radical and H2 radical. So H2 and Cl radical. Plus, why we are using plus? In the third step also, HCl is the product. So we are writing plus. Then rate constant multiplied by product of all the reactants. What are the reactants in the third step? Chlorine gas and hydrogen radical. These two are the reactants. So this is the equation 1. So it is an initial equation where, of course, we know the concentration of hydrogen, we know the concentration of Cl2, K2 and K3 are rate constants, they may be derived, but we don't know the concentrations of Cl radical and hydrogen radical because they are intermediates. We cannot predict the concentrations of Cl radical and hydrogen radical. So in order to derive the complete expression for rate of the reaction, what we need to do, we need to replace chlorine radical concentration and hydrogen radical concentration with known terms. So that's what we need to do. We'll try to derive the expressions for Cl radical concentration and hydrogen radical concentration. So in order to find out the concentrations of intermediates, we used to apply steady state approximation. So first we will apply steady state approximation to Cl radical. That is, what is steady state approximation? The rate of change of concentration of any intermediate is 0. Or in other words, we can say the rate of formation of any intermediate is equal to the rate of decomposition. So intermediates are not there in the beginning or at the end of the reaction. So they will form, at the same time they will decompose. So the overall change in the concentration of any intermediate is 0. That is what steady state approximation. Now, where is this chlorine radical? It is in the first step, it is in the second step, it is in the third step, and it is in the fourth step. In the first step, mostly this generation depends on intensity of the light. So I am using K1, rate constant into Ia. In the second step, it is undergoing decomposition. So I have taken minus sign, rate constant K2 and reactants, hydrogen and Cl. In the third step, it is a product. So I'll take a plus sign, rate constant K3, reactants Cl2 and hydrogen radical. And in the fourth step, it is the reactant. So I'll take a minus because it is decomposing. I'll take minus K4 rate constant and reactants. So this is equation 2. Similarly, we will apply steady state approximation. Hydrogen radical. That is, the rate of change in the concentration of hydrogen radical is 0. Now, hydrogen radical is produced in the second step, consumed in the third step. Because it is produced, we will take positive sign K2 into H2 into Cl radical minus, because it is consumed in third step, K3 into Cl2 into H radical is equal to 0. This is the third equation. Now, in order to simplify them, compare these two equations. In the second equation, K2 term is minus, in the K3 term is plus. Here it is exactly opposite. So to simplify, what we can take 2 plus 3. Just add equation 2 and equation 3. We will get K1 into IA minus K4 into Cl radical is equal to 0. So from this we can derive Cl radical, bring this side, minus becomes plus, K4 is a multiplier, when it becomes this side, K1 by K4 into IA. So this is the concentration for Cl radical. So we can substitute Cl radical concentration in rate equation 1. Then now we will try to figure out H radical. H radical concentration, yeah, we can solve it from equation 3. From equation 3, make this that side, it becomes positive. We need only H radical, so make everything this side. So when we solve it, H radical is equal to K2 by K3 H2 by Cl2 into Cl radical. So just solve this equation for H radical concentration. Now we know the Cl radical concentration. So substitute Cl radical concentration here. You will get K1, K2 by K3, K4, H2 concentration by Cl2 concentration into I naught. So this is the H radical concentration. So we have Cl radical concentration, we have H radical concentration. So we will substitute everything in the equation 1. Therefore, from equation 1, R is equal to K2 into H2 Cl radical K1 by K4 into I naught plus K3 into Cl2 into H radical K1 K2 by K3 K4 H2 by Cl2 into I naught. So when we solve these things, we will get 2 K1 K2 by K4 into H2 into I naught. So this is the final rate expression, or we can also write R is equal to some constant K into IA into H2, because all these terms